The Dark Cosmos presents We Journey Back in Time to Resurrect a Being. Written by Jason Inukura. I am Dahn, the Keeper of the Flow of Time. A group of earthlings have finally broken the veil of time, and they now seek to journey back in time to the beginning of all things to resurrect a mighty being. Fools. They could destroy everything that exists. I must stop them before they travel to maintain the proper flow of time. Hey Creepypasta fans. It's Thomas, and I'll be your narrator for tonight. Enjoy tonight's sci-fi horror story. And remember, stay cosmic. Time is a river flowing from eternity to eternity. It cannot be created, nor can it run out. In the reality of things, the earthlings believe that time runs out because of their measurement of time, based on rotation and revolution. But the truth is that time is a constant that never runs out. They are the ones who actually run out. Time is a powerful force that sits on eternity's watch. Earthlings and their constant meddling with things that they have no knowledge about. They have begun to upset the very flow of time, and they need to be stopped as soon as possible. Dahn, my loyal and faithful servant, you have been chosen to bring an end to their meddling. Wield your sword. I am sending you on a mission to Earth as an emissary of the Keeper of Time. Secret Research Laboratory, Spain. A group of scientists gather in a secret research laboratory in Spain for a groundbreaking project. For years, they have been attempting to create a time machine to travel back to the past and gain knowledge about the beginning of time. And for the first time in a long period, they finally seemed to be succeeding. They had already successfully created the time machine device, and all they needed now was pure and powerful energy to power up the device and keep it running. They have attempted several options in the past, but only one came close enough, and it almost tore down the entire lab in the process. A rare element was discovered recently in the desert, and it contains enormous energy. The element contained enormous pure energy almost synonymous with a nuclear bomb if detonated. Diego Fernando is the lead scientist of the project, and even though he still submits to an anonymous higher power, he is the authority present in the laboratory and a mighty force to reckon with. Diego Fernando has a powerful IQ, and he always seems to be one step ahead every instance.
Sir, we are ready to commence sequence,
one of the scientists declared.
Proceed,
Diego said calmly. Diego was quite positive that this element would be able to power up the time travel device. They have searched for years, and this element met all the requirements. It was time to try it out. The strange object was definitely not from this Earth. It pulsated with enormous amounts of energy, and it had several carvings engraved on it. Everyone present in the room wondered where and how Diego Fernando had obtained such an object from, but no one dared to ask. Besides, they thrived in secrecy, and even their present experiments and successes in time travel were not meant to exist yet. They had broken boundaries of space and time to have achieved this feat, and they knew there was still a lot more to be done. After diverse calculations were made and precautions put in place, the device was started, and everyone stared in expectation, waiting and hoping that the time travel device would work. An ominous noise thundered from within the portal-like object, and the device soon sprung into life. Diego's eyes brightened with expectation as a portal was visibly born in front of them.
It works!
Diego Fernando exclaimed with glee. He rarely showed emotions, so everyone was surprised to see his response. The portal lasted for a minute before it began to spin out of hand. Sparks of electricity invaded the entire place, followed by loud bangs and small explosions.
Shut it down,
Diego commanded.
But sir, I said shut it down.
Diego interrupted. The scientists scurried towards the device to shut it down. Diego Fernandez advanced towards the scientist.
The next time I give you an order and you hesitate, you will feel the full weight of my wrath.
The unfortunate scientist swallowed hard and nodded in submission. He was definitely angry because he knew they were so close, and finding another power source with more balance than the previous one would not be an easy task.
We would need something purer, with more balance,
he said calmly before strolling out of the laboratory. Somewhere in the dark cosmos, someone had attempted to break the veil of time, and Kairos, the eternal keeper of time, could feel it. Man had always been a very stubborn species. They were the most intelligent, evolving at unbelievable speed. In just a few millennia, they had advanced from Stone Age into technology that could even rival other galaxies. Even though they were still a primitive species in terms of technological advancements, he was impressed at their level of growth, and he knew that if they continued at such a pace, the next few centuries would give birth to endless possibilities.
Dahn, come forth. I have a task for you,
Kairos declared. Dahn was an immortal being of time, and Kairos' emissary.
I heard the summoning and I responded to the call. Kairos, my master, had summoned me. It was a privilege. I approached him with reverence and dropped to my knees once I had gotten close. My lord, here I am. Send me, I said, oozing confidence. I had fought many wars alongside Kairos. I have seen his might and strength. I have felt the surge of his lightning, and truly, he is a mighty being. It was no surprise he became the timekeeper after the fall of Kronos, and he is feared and respected amongst the ethereals and all across the realms. Arise, Dahn. Go forth and accomplish your task.
Earth. Standing in the darkness of the night were two hooded men, tall and mighty. There was something odd about them. They carried a strange aura around them as they walked. Diego Fernando was present there too.
He will come to us very soon,
one of the hooded men said.
Save your strength. You will need it,
he added before strolling into the dark alley behind them.
I descended like lightning from the skies somewhere in the outskirts of town. This was not my first time on Earth, so it shouldn't be much of a task navigating around the place. At least, so I thought. My mission was simple. I needed to find whoever was responsible for the time breach and bring them to justice, even if it resulted in their death. My master is a being of balance, and I am his emissary. Sometimes, to restore balance, a heavy toll must be exacted. These earthlings are messing with forces beyond their control, and I needed to stop them. I could spot several younger earthlings playing at a distance. They quickly scampered out of the place immediately as they set their eyes upon me. They were not the only things I could sense in this place. There was a thick and strange aura that had saturated the entire area. It was not meant to be there. I turned around. 2 hooded men were standing at a distance. They were not of this earth. Beings from the dark cosmos. It seemed as though there was something much bigger than I had anticipated happening on this planet. A third presence appeared out of nowhere and launched towards me. I buried my feet in the ground and turned to take out whatever had just showed up, but it was gone. It was extremely fast and moved almost like the wind. I reached for my sword, but it was gone. The strange creature must have taken it. Why would they be after my sword, I thought. I shifted my gaze to where the hooded beings stood earlier, but they were gone, too. A distraction.
Hey!
Someone screamed behind me. Another earthling stood beside some sort of box with wheels in the distance. Blue and red lights spinning atop the box. He had some weapon in his arms pointed towards me.
Get down! Don't force me to shoot!
The man yelled. I continued to stroll closer towards him, and I could smell the fear all around him. I heaved a heavy sigh before taking flight into the sky.
Back in the secret laboratory, Diego Fernando and the rest of his team of scientists had gotten the ultimate prize. They had finally found pure and powerful energy that they could use to power the time machine. The Sword of Dahn.
Quickly. We have no time to waste. Power up the device.
Diego Fernando watched as the portal began to open up. Dahn's sword was the perfect balance of energy.
You shall be free soon, Master.
Diego whispered under his breath, his eyes now glimmering with a tint of ruby.
I was tracking my sword as I raced across the street towards an abandoned warehouse. Hopefully, the events were all connected, I thought. I didn't have to guess anymore when a dozen hooded beings emerged from every corner, surrounding me. They all had a familiar sword in their hands. I had seen that sword before, a long time ago. Dark flames encircled their weapons, and they reeked of decay. One of the creatures removed its hood, revealing its face. A dark and deformed visage with ruby eyes shining against the darkness of the skin. I would recognize that face anywhere. They were servants of the dark flame. Of course, this was bigger than what I had earlier thought, and I was without my sword. If these beings were here, then they were trying to bring him back. Of course, I whispered under my breath. That is why they wish to travel back in time. They want to bring back the dark flame, and perhaps they needed my sword as an energy source to travel back in time. From the look on the faces of the hooded beings, they must have been expecting me, but more important, they were guarding something. The dark flame was a powerful being that existed eons ago, and he waged war in the dark cosmos. I was one of the warriors that fought to send him back into the dark dimension, lost and banished forever in the past. Kairos locked him there, far back at the beginning of time, never to return again. All the creatures rushed towards me, bearing their blazing swords tightly in their hands. My lord, Kairos, grant me strength. Those were the words that seemed to escape my lips. My eyes instantly lit up as sparks of lightning circled around me. I charged towards them with a loud growl, channeling my rage at them, and I could feel my master's presence around me. Kairos is one of the strongest beings in the multiverse. He had fought in many wars and had wisdom beyond all. The keeper of time and of all the realms. I was privileged to serve at his feet. They were not powerful enough to defeat me since my master was with me. My courage soared as a sword of lightning formed around my arms. This was going to be a good fight.
In the laboratory, Diego Fernando could already sense the heated brawl which was going on outside the warehouse. They could hear the sparks of lightning and the groans of fallen creatures. The time travel device took too long to power up. He gritted his teeth in frustration, pacing at regular intervals.
I had already taken down a few of the creatures, but they kept pouring in from every side. They were trying to buy some time. Out of nowhere, a rain of lightning accompanied by a loud roar of thunder descended into the place, taking out all the creatures. Kairos was aware that the games had changed. If the Dark Flame was involved, then he would definitely not want them returning to the past to bring him back. A powerful surge of energy erupted from the warehouse. The ground trembled under the force of the energy. Diego Fernando had succeeded in opening the time travel device. I rushed into the secret laboratory and I spotted a being standing in front of the portal. He didn't quite look like the others. He attempted to jump into the portal, but I quickly shot a powerful bolt of lightning towards him, throwing him off at some distance. I rushed for my sword and took up a battle stance. You are not going through this portal. I attempted to destroy the portal, but the creature rushed towards me, grabbing my side and throwing me towards the ground. He swung several blows at me, which I evaded. The creature was relentless, and definitely more powerful than the ones I had earlier faced. Diego Fernando had transformed into a sinister-looking creature. Suddenly, another roar of thunder erupted throughout the warehouse as a blinding light engulfed the entire place. Someone else was here. I shifted my gaze towards the direction of the sound, and my eyes were greeted by an unexpected sight. I instantly dropped to my knees. My lord, I let out quietly. Kairos had decided to join in the fight. Kairos is eternal. Whatever had made him come down from the heavens of the dark cosmos must have been very important.
Arise, my faithful servant. The battle is not over yet.
The being I had earlier fought knew that he was no match for Kairos. He had stopped fighting too. Kairos quickly destroyed the time travel device. Something was approaching. The ground trembled under the force of each step. They had not been able to free the Dark Flame, but when Diego Fernando had opened up the time portal, there was a crack in the time of Earth, releasing several powerful creatures around the Earth. Kairos had sent emissaries around the Earth to take care of the lesser threats, but this was the most terrifying creature that had escaped, and Kairos had to come down himself to fight it.
Go. There are other creatures that you need to take care of.
I stormed out of the warehouse, and so did the alien, too. Whatever was approaching was definitely not at our level of strength. I wasn't going to leave the creature that had started all this madness behind, so I whispered a few words and sent him into the dark dimension. I could guess the troubles that had been unleashed upon the Earth. Kairos would probably reset the timelines after everything had been sorted out. I heaved a heavy sigh before taking a leap into the heavens. I could sense an otherworldly creature nearby, and I had to send it back into whatever cesspit it crept out from.